Hi there, I'm Naruto Hyuga, and this is my story. Believe it!
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Neon Pal here, and today we are doing part 5 to What If Naruto Was a Hyuga? Now guys, I know you love this series as I've seen the crazy support you beasts have given me throughout the past videos. Have not seen that much support in a very long time. So guys, I'm glad you're sticking around, and I hope you enjoy this video. Also, for this like goal, I'm going to be bumping it up to 100 likes, which I know you beasts should easily be able to hit. And if you want to show some extra support, don't forget to check out my Patreon page, linked in the description below. Also, if you're new to the channel and have not seen the other videos, I recommend seeing them so you won't be confused. I have that playlist linked in the description and on the card above. So, without further ado guys, let's go ahead and hop into the video. We last left our young Hyuga collapsed in pain after the fight against Orochimaru. His comrades are terrified of what could have happened to their friend. They suspect Orochimaru must have done something devious before they were able to terminate him. Team 7 rushes Naruto to Tsunade so that she can stabilize him and analyze his condition. A few hours pass and Tsunade finally exits the emergency room. She tells our heroes that Naruto will be able to make a full recovery, but if this situation ever happens again, his whole chakra system will completely fall apart. Tsunade doesn't know exactly what could have caused it, but before she is able to continue speaking, Hinata chimes in and says she noticed that Naruto's chakra network was more sporadic and chaotic than usual. She said it started happening when he used his Rasen Shuriken, and maybe that jutsu could have caused his trauma. This leaves everyone in fright that Naruto's own jutsu could have inflicted so much damage to the user. Naruto finally wakes up and sees Hinata, Kakashi, and Sasuke looking at him with concerned but serious looks. They inform Naruto about his condition and what happened. Naruto just looks down nervously as he says that he was aware that what his jutsu could cause him. With his Byakugan, he noticed his chakra going out of control when he was mastering his jutsu. He just thought he could control it enough to minimize the side effects. Everyone is just looking at Naruto, unable to say anything, except Hinata, who has tears running down her face, and says,
How could you, Naruto-kun?
While Naruto replies,
Hinata, wait!
As Hinata darts off. Kakashi tells Naruto that if he knew about the repercussions, he shouldn't have taken the huge risk. He's told him countless times that he doesn't need to sacrifice himself. He also says that Hinata was worried sick about him. Naruto just sits there in complete silence and apologizes. Kakashi said he's not the one that needs to be apologized to, and proceeds to leave the room. Only Naruto and Sasuke are left in the room. Sasuke is pretty neutral about all of this. He knows how careless his friend can be when it comes to protecting his friends. He just encourages Naruto that things will work out. He just needs to talk it out with Hinata. But before Sasuke leaves, he tells Naruto with a slight smirk that if he ever is sloppy with his jutsu like that again, the jutsu's repercussion won't be the only thing he has to worry about. We now skip to the next day. Naruto is looking for Hinata, but he can't find her anywhere. He thinks to look for her at the Hyuga training grounds where they used to train as kids. To his surprise, Hinata is training there. Naruto tries to approach Hinata, but she just increases her training output to push him back. Naruto then knows what he has to do. He activates his Byakugan and yells at Hinata to fight him unless she's chicken. This really gets underneath Hinata's skin, and she readies her stance. The two spar for hours, Hinata releasing all her frustration. At the end of it, they are both exhausted. Naruto looks at Hinata and starts to apologize. He then compliments her power and skill. Hinata slightly turns and underneath her breath says thanks. She then continues saying that if Naruto is aware of her power, then why does he keep doing reckless things without considering the feelings of everyone else? She questions Naruto if he does that because he doesn't trust her or the rest of the team to keep up with him. Naruto looks down in guilt. He hadn't realized everyone felt that way. He honestly just wanted to protect everyone, no matter what the cost. He couldn't bear to see any of his friends get hurt because they were all like family to him. Hinata is quiet at first, then exclaims,
Baka!
Naruto is caught off guard by this. Hinata, now looking at Naruto, tells them that they aren't the same team they were when they were kids. Each of them have gotten many times stronger, definitely strong enough to protect themselves, and, as Hinata gets extremely close to Naruto, to protect you too. She then kisses Naruto, making his entire face turn into a tomato. Hinata then turns quickly to get up, but before she can leave, Naruto grabs her and brings her close. He then whispers to her that he truly is sorry, and that he will rely on her and the others to watch over him as he watches over them. Hinata smiles, and the couple hugs. It is now the next day. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke meet up with Kakashi-sensei in the practice fields, and to their surprise, Jiraiya is also there. Kakashi tells Team 7 that they will be going with Jiraiya to train. Kakashi, as their sensei, recommended all of them to get this special training because he felt that they were more than capable to do so. Of course, Jiraiya also felt that all of them could handle the difficult training ahead of them just by their recent performance against Orochimaru. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke are all pretty excited to get a chance to become stronger. They all ask what exactly will they be doing. Jiraiya responds by telling them that they will be learning Sage Jutsu. Sage Jutsu, all of them exclaim. Jiraiya then goes on to explain the details and even gives them an example with Sasuke's curse mark as a derivative of Sage Mode. He also mentions that Naruto may even be able to use his Rasen Shuriken in his new form without any repercussions. The three shinobi are now more pumped than ever to get started. They say farewell to Kakashi-sensei and head to the Land of Toads to begin their training. 5 days have passed, and it seems that our young heroes are getting very well acquainted with the mastery of Sage Mode, and the bug food the toads eat, of course. They are all adept, but that doesn't mean that they didn't have their moments when they almost turned into frogs. However, as they are all training, a very gruesome fight is occurring back in the normal world. Team Asuma are fighting against the Akatsuki members Hidan and Kakuzo. Sadly, like in canon, Asuma succumbs to Hidan's deadly jutsu. They eventually make it back to the Leaf Village. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke have just finished mastering Sage Jutsu during this time. They hear the news and request that they join Shikamaru's team in taking out the two troublesome Akatsuki members. Tsunade is a bit hesitant at first to send out Naruto, since the Akatsuki's whole goal is to capture him for his Nine-Tails chakra. However, she can see Naruto has grown in power and in mind in just a short amount of time, so she allows them to go assist. The two teams leave the village and head to where Hidan and Kakuzo were last spotted. The group ends up finding the evildoers, but to their surprise, there's one more person with them. It's Sasori! He had tagged along with the other two because he had gathered intel that the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki would attempt to fight them. The two teams split, with Shikamaru's team fighting Hidan and playing out as normal, and Team 7 fighting against Kakuza and Sasori. The team is very cautious against these two as their intel on them are very limited. Naruto tells Hinata and Sasuke that they need to go start building up nature energy so they can go Sage Mode if they hope to stand a chance against the two Akatsuki members. Naruto also says that he can buy some time as they build energy. He has planned ahead and summoned two shadow clones earlier to start building nature energy for him. Hinata and Sasuke start meditating while Naruto releases one of his shadow clones and activates Sage Mode in combination with his Byakugan. He hasn't actually gotten a chance to combine the two jutsus up to this point. When he does, he realizes that he can literally see and sense everything around him. This allows him to figure out the tricks to Sasori and Kakuzo's bodies. He notices that Sasori has a puppet body and Kakuzo has multiple hearts. The intel he discovered is great and allows him to create counterattacks for each of them. The fight begins with Kakuzo throwing out all his elemental jutsu blasts at Naruto. He, of course, is easily able to dodge all of them, and as he does so, he notices that Sasori is releasing 100 puppets from his core. Naruto counters and is able to destroy 50 of the puppets with a giant Rasengan. At this point, Naruto feels that he could most likely take out one of the Akatsuki members if he plays his cards right. However, he stays on his defensive because he trusts and relies on his friends to come back and work as a team. Naruto senses that Hinata and Sasuke are on their way back with Sage Mode. Naruto kicks Kakuzo in his chest, destroying one of his hearts in the process, and uses a Rasengan to destroy one of Sasori's puppet arm. He then retreats and meets up with the rest of the team and informs them about the info in the plan. He also tells them that they could activate their dojutsu in combination with Sage Mode for a huge buff in their sensory acuity. Naruto releases his last clone to extend his Sage Mode. Team 7 then heads back to fight. Both Kakuzu and Sasori have taken some damage, but aren't ready to give up in the slightest. The villains charge out their heroes and attempt to land some blows, but they are unsuccessful as they are just too slow. It is now time for Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke to end this fight. Sasuke uses his Chidori to send lightning through the ground and electrocute the two, immobilizing them. Hinata and Naruto then charge using their 8 trigrams 512 palms, knocking out many of the enemy's chakra points. The 3 members of Team 7 all back up and ready their ultimate move. Hinata releases her Lion's Fist, Naruto his Rasen Shuriken, and Sasuke his Kirin on the 2 Akatsuki members. The combination of these attacks creates a small atomic-like bomb explosion. Kakuzu and Sasori evaporate from existence. Team 7 tiredly smiles to one another as they are all happy to have been able to defeat the 2 Akatsuki members, all before their sage time limit ran out. The team returns to the village, tired but victorious. They have managed to defeat 3 Akatsuki members and also avenged Asuma Sensei. Meanwhile, back at the Akatsuki headquarters, they receive notice that 3 of their members have been ruthlessly beaten. Here is where Pain comes into play. Pain has decided that he should be the one to bring in the 9 Tails and show everyone what true pain really is. Back at the village, Jiraiya has been investigating the leader of the Akatsuki. He gets intel on where he has last been spotted and decides to go investigate further. He decides to go alone because something inside is telling him that he has to be the one to do this, despite it being a reckless move on his part. He feels a weird, almost reminiscent feeling when thinking about it. Jiraiya does not tell Naruto or the others about his plan and leaves the village to find Pain. Jiraiya's intel leads him to the village hidden in the rain, where he has an encounter with his former students. Unfortunately, like any anime, Jiraiya is still killed by his students, R.I.P. As the gruesome fight between Jiraiya and Pain was happening, the unaware Team 7 were doing some light sparring. That same day, Naruto leaves his training early because he is feeling off for some reason, like something is missing in his heart. As he's walking home through the scenic woody area of the Leaf Village, he notices a familiar figure. He sees Itachi. He runs after him to confront the tyrant, but as he is running, he feels a hand on his shoulder, which makes Naruto jump back. It really is Itachi! Naruto goes to attack, but Itachi just does his bird substitution. He then tells Naruto that he isn't there to fight, but just wants to talk. Naruto doesn't trust him one bit, but still hears him out so he can provide some good intel. Itachi then tells Naruto that he is grateful for him for taking care of Sasuke and keeping him from falling into the darkness. This completely shocks Naruto since he did not expect to hear that, especially from Itachi. Itachi then goes on to tell Naruto that his time in this world is coming to a very fast end. He also says that he will be contacting Sasuke very soon. He wants to see the power Sasuke has gotten and to tell him some parting words. Before Itachi disappears, he bestows Naruto with a bird that has Sushui's eyes and says that this is a present to him that may come in handy in the near future. Itachi disappears. Naruto is just silent as he's trying to process all the new information he just got. He wants to tell his friends about the situation, but before he can, he gets word that Tsunade has summoned Team 7. She tells them that Itachi has just been spotted at the old Uchiha hideout and wants them to go pursue him. Naruto thinks to himself that this is the signal Itachi was talking about. Hinata, Naruto, Sasuke, and Kakashi head out. Before they arrive at the location, Sasuke tells his friends that he wants to fight Itachi alone. He wants to be the one to avenge his clan. Naruto is about to tell Sasuke what he heard from Itachi, but before he can say it, they are jumped by Kisame. He says that only Sasuke can move forward from here. Sasuke looks at his team and says he will handle it, and tells them not to worry. He looks at Naruto and smirks, saying that he'll be borrowing one of his techniques for the fight. Hinata, Naruto, and Kakashi are left to fight Kisame, while Sasuke goes to fight Itachi. In the beginning, Itachi still deceives Sasuke, as in canon, but as they finish their warm-up, Sasuke goes into high gear. Like Naruto, Sasuke releases a shadow clone he had set up to gather nature energy and turns into Sage mode in combination with the Sharingan. This allows Sasuke to get some powerful blows on Itachi. This surprises Itachi, but makes him happy to see how powerful his younger brother has gone. He then realizes that he can't hold back on this fight and transforms into his Susanoo. Sasuke has never seen a transformation like this and is confused how Itachi has this power. While Itachi is in this state, Sasuke can't get close, so he decides to summon his giant snake. In combination with all his power, he's able to at least hold his own against Itachi. However, as we all know, Itachi is still holding back because of his sickness. At the end, both brothers are out of chakra and Itachi is on his last dying breaths. Before his light burns out, he tells Sasuke sorry for all the pain he has caused him and tells him that he is proud of him. He is happy that he found Naruto. Itachi also tells Sasuke he needs to get his eyes implanted, so he will have enough power for the fight that is soon to come. As Itachi says this, he does the two-finger touch on Sasuke's forehead and collapses to the floor. The rush from hearing all that and his brother collapsing awakened his Mangekyo, and then Sasuke blacks out. We now turn to Naruto and the others fighting Kisame. It was a tough fight, but they managed to overpower the Shark Man and fry him. To their surprise, they see the entire Uchiha hideout in ruins and Itachi on the floor. Fortunately, they find Sasuke still alive but unconscious. They also, of course, take Itachi's body with them. They all head back to the village after the very difficult mission. Once they make it back, they are welcomed with terrible news. Tsunade tells them that Jiraiya was defeated by the leader of the Akatsuki. This of course doesn't sit well with Naruto at all and he attempts to leave with rage, but Tsunade stops him. She says that before he goes, he has a message from Jiraiya. Hinata and Naruto go off together. Sasuke also feels bad for his friend, but he has an important request and intel to tell Tsunade. First, he requests Itachi's eye to be implanted into him, and 2, tells him that the great power is about to reign over the village. Tsunade is a bit hesitant to follow through with Sasuke's request, but she sees it as a necessity to increase their firepower for the upcoming battle. Because of Jiraiya's sacrifice, he was able to gather a lot of intel on Pain, and with Sasuke's new intel, helps complete the puzzle. Naruto is now reading the message with Hinata. Jiraiya is saying his regards and tells Naruto not to feel sad or mad about what has happened to him. Jiraiya says he has no regrets and that he chose to do this. He also says he is extremely proud of how far Naruto has come. He then goes on to mention that Naruto needs to learn how to control his Nine-Tails chakra before Pain arrives. He says before he left, he made plans for him to train under another Jinchuriki by the name of Killer Bee in the Cloud Village. He will be his new master to learn to control his power. Naruto knows what he must do. A week has passed. Naruto is on the brink of controlling the Nine-Tails with Killer Bee. Hinata is training with the Hyugas, and Sasuke has just finished recovering from his eye surgery and is now with Kakashi trying to train his new eyes. Just when all seems well for our heroes, they get word that the Pains are approaching the village. The village is on high alert. Hinata and Sasuke are wondering where that knucklehead Naruto is now. Knowing him, he should have finished his training by now. To buy some time for the village and Naruto, Hinata and Sasuke know what they must do. They go out to keep the Pains at bay before they can reach the village. Hinata and Sasuke know about the Pains from Jiraiya's intel, but are still very cautious. Sasuke has still yet to get a hang of his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan, so both of them will just have to rely on Sage mode. They confront the paths of Pain and fight commences. As that happens, Naruto is having a very difficult time controlling the Nine-Tails chakra for some reason. He has never struggled so much with something in his life. The hatred of his clan towards him and the mystery of his parents are all weighing hard on the young Hyuga. But all of a sudden, a light comes out of the darkness. Naruto can see Hinata, Kakashi, Sasuke, Jiraiya, and all the other friends he has made. He knows that hatred in his heart is no longer there. He has new, stronger bonds with people that care about him. People that would go to the end of the world to protect him. All these emotions build up inside him, and he's able to push over the edge and unlock Nine-Tails chakra form. He feels this new power flowing through his veins. He thanks Bee and heads out. However, he senses something horrible. He senses multiple large powers fighting against what feels like Hinata and Sasuke. He feels their chakra depleting fast, as if they are about to die. Naruto's heart drops in fear that his friends could be. He has no time to think about it. As Hinata and Sasuke are on their last breath, the paths of pain are ready to impale them. As they release their blow, Naruto teleports to the scene and takes the full force of the attack. He coughs up blood, but is glad he made it in time. And that's where we're going to be leaving part 5. Like always guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit that like button so you can smash that like goal. Remember, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification so you can stay up to date with all the weekly videos. Well guys, without further ado, much love, peace out.